Welcome to our Day 2 April 2022 Sand Hollow trip. We're running a little late, as always. It's like herding cats with these girls, but hey, that's part of wheeling as a family. Howdy, let's get rowdy. We are in Sand Hollow, and today I've got King's Crack that I gotta go do. I've bailed out many a times. This is the day whether I wear the crown or I end up in the bottom and lose the crown. But we're here with some rad friends, rad people, badass rigs. Check them out.
New shoes on a Friday morning. New look, still can't hide my born. I got a pocket full of change-ups. I switch hit, I'm a stranger. Consist on ain't something I could say well. Build my change into the wishing for a change. Well, wish a day is swell life for the next come. And when
let me know in the comments if you guys want me to do a wreck rides on this Samurai. Let me know. Looks pretty clean right now. We better get it out of the way before she gets tore up.
Going down, dude.
And I really need this fit still. Seems like that ain't something I can stand still.
I haven't seen that beautiful red TJ since last year when we were both on 24-hour hell and back.
Never know who you're gonna see at Sand Hollow.
Super bummed we're not getting to wheel with Chuck and Mason this trip, but it was super rad that we got to see him and say hi. If you don't know who they are, take a moment to check out their channel. They have some super rad content and hit so many good events and somehow know all the coolest people in the industry. Let them know that Wreck Gear sent you. Here we are playing catch up again, and we're heading up the wash bed to Arrowhead Trail, which has my most feared obstacle to date, King's Crack. Arrowhead Trail, and this is where they have the big King's Crack. We got a cool stack of rigs. We got some guys from Vegas, we've got some guys from Arizona, and we're just ready to tear it up. We got Chase going up the nasty right now. Arrowhead is rated 10 out of 15 with bonus lines that go up to 13. You might be wondering why they have a 15 scale rating. Well, just like any other 1 to 10 scale, everywhere else, 1 would be bone stock vehicle and a 10 would be for the buggies only. Due to the progression in buggies, drivers pushing the limit, and Sand Hollow's unique park to where you can make newer, harder trails all the time, a 15 means that no one has completed the trail. 14, less than a handful of rigs have ever completed the trail. 13 means it is the hardest trail that experienced buggies make it through often. 12 is difficult. 11 is the next step above buggy rated trail, and of course 10 is still buggy trail. That being said, the 11 through 15 trails can have their ratings changed due to progression in the sport, which is really helpful and fun for us buggy guys, with still allowing to use the standard 1 to 10 scale that almost everywhere else uses for all the other off-roaders. Check out these cool kids snacking it up with their cool shades on. They've got the best seat in the house to watch the show.
Yeah. Man, the traffic around these parts is insane.
Yeah, man, it's just bumper to bumper and it's always slow.
I saw that. It was cute.
All right, it's my turn, and as you guys can see, it's a pretty straightforward waterfall, not too steep, but it does have those 2 sheer walls next to you. The tough part about this is you come up the waterfall, and when you get to the top of it, you got to make a hard 90. And then your rear tire is coming up a wall, the rear passenger, and then your front driver is coming up a wall, which causes you to teeter, which makes you want to fall in the crack. Take your time, feel for that traction, and feel for the stability to make sure that you don't get off the line and tumble back down. Once you're lined up with the crack up here, you're just gonna go ahead and feel for that traction to pull you the rest of the way up. And once you get up here, you're definitely not in the safe zone, because when you get up to the top, you're riding in the middle of the crack, and you wanna make sure to stay completely centered. If you go to the left, you're gonna fall in the crack and roll back down the waterfall. If you slide off to the right, well, then you're gonna go off a 15-foot drop. Now, lining up into this next crack, there's a huge hole that you have to go through, and when you line up on that crack, it leans you completely towards the edge, which is 15-foot drop, and makes you super nervous. So whatever you do, you don't want to do that. If that tire would have kept going, it would have pitched me right off the top of this, and that would have been a bad day. Luckily, we didn't do that. Now we're lined up in the crack, and you're gonna see this crack is pretty technical as well, because it's leaning you to the driver's side. There's a big divot in the driver's side, and then on the passenger side, there's the overhanging rock that you can't fall off of, otherwise that crack swallows you. So you're gonna make sure to pay attention to your tires and make sure they're exactly on the right line, so that way you don't fall in.
That was a cool optional line on the trail Arrowhead here in Sand Hollow, or as we call it, Sand Holly.
This and the last obstacle are both bonus lines. Bonus lines are usually much harder than what the trail is rated. I would say these two lines are rated 11 to 12. But remember, bonus lines are optional and you don't have to do them. But that being said, it'd be way more fun if you did. So you're gonna wanna launch up this sucker, but you don't wanna hit it too hard, because that lip at the top, your front tires hit it, and if they hit too hard, it's gonna just go ahead and roll you backwards. So you hit it just right, get that front driver's side tire up there. I chose to crab over it. You don't have to. You can just kind of slowly work over, and the front will come down on its own. And then I straighten out, and then what you do is you ride that high side on that lip, so that way you're not too far over the edge, so that way you don't roll down. And you just slowly work your way up there, and eventually your whole buggy will get on that shelf, and then your front driver's side tire is gonna fall off that ledge, and then you've pretty much completed this line.
Let the squirrels eat! Not enough squirrels! Oh, he's got a lot, but
Here's a quick pro tip for you. Always make sure you're in four-wheel drive when you need it. Otherwise, you're gonna look like an idiot trying to haul butt through the sand, front only. And if you think for a second that I heard everyone saying that I was in front only when the rev limiters were bouncing, you're crazy. So you know exactly what I did. I backed up and I sent it even harder. Laugh it up, but let's be real. We got to be a little impressed that I just launched up that in front wheel drive.
I don't know what is happening there. He's just figuring it out.
All right, we're at King's Crack. You would say this is pretty much my enemy. I've came out here 4 attempts and bailed every time because was too much of a wussy.
Time after time, fail.
Time after time. Got clowned by Carly, swallowed my pride.
Flashback.
Sometimes you plan to do some big shit, and then you get there, and you don't want to do the big shit anymore. I'll be back another day. This is one of those obstacles that I'm like, I'm gonna do it, and then I go look at it, and I just don't want to get stuck on that crack yet. But I'll get there. It is Saturday. So I'm gonna start making excuses like I don't want to break on the last day out here. But that is totally an excuse.
End of flashback.
Today's the day. I'm gonna actually attempt it and hopefully make it, wear the King's hat or break the King's hat. One or the other. This is what I'm trying.
Alright guys, the most anticipated moment of the year on Wrecked Gear. You're about to see it happen. Bronson versus King's Crack.
Fuck yeah! I hate that crap. Some of you are going to watch this and think this is the craziest obstacle that you've ever seen. Others will watch this and say it's so easy and they can't believe it took me so long to conquer King's Crack. Well, you guys would both be right. For me, this is a fear factor obstacle, and there's something that is so rewarding on conquering your fears, no matter what they might be. Best way to support this video is by giving the subscribe button a little skiddly do, diddle that notification bell, give this video the fat finger, and leave a dirty little comment below. As always, thanks for wheeling with us.